up, guys? Circonflexes here, bringing you the modpack for patch 9.13, aka the checkline patch. So yeah, it's really easy. I'll put a download link down below. It's a Mediafire link. Hopefully this time there will be no issues. Last time a lot of virus scanners went off and was basically, screwing everybody up. So I had somebody else save it, and I had another link and stuff like that. But it is obviously super safe, and it's pretty easy to install. I've done these videos a bunch of times now. But basically, you download the zip file, Circonflexes Modpack 9.13. You open that up, you open that folder, and then there's the new patch map, configs, and mods. You put all of these maps into your res mods folder where you install Reticle. So Reticle, res mods, and then there should be all the older patches since you've been playing, basically. You don't really have to keep these, you can throw them away if you want. So what you need in the res mods folder is the 9.13 folder, you need the config folder, and you need the mods folder. These three is what you need for the mod pack. So it's easy as that, but you have to do a couple of things. You have to go to modxcm.com/en for the English version. You have to sign in with your Wargaming account, so it is safe. It's not like in a different website or whatever you have to log into. So you log in there, and then you get all these settings where you can show off what you want in the game or not, and even what kind of rating you want. Obviously you want WN8 because that's kind of what everybody's using at the moment. So you activate and update your statistics here to keep your XCM up to date and actually see XCM in the game. You have to redo this every, I think, 14 days. So keep doing that, and it will tell you as well in the garage if you haven't. Alright, so make sure you put the folders in the correct folder in the res mods folder, and then activate XCM. I'm just going to do this live. So the garage is obviously changed. It's now 4 rows. If you want to change this, you can actually do that, but it's a bit rough to do. You have to go to configs, XCM, and then edit this with Notepad++. Somewhere in those lines is the carousel number, and if you change that to say 1, you just have 1, etc, etc. You can make it 12 if you wanted to. But I haven't fiddled with that in forever. I just use the same config over and over. So there you go. A lot of people that use my modpack in the past always wonder where the reticle is not the same. That's because you need to basically copy what I have. Otherwise you won't have the shiny blue stuff that I always have. It's basically the blue thing, which I really like. It's basically a really old setting or something from Jimbo's that I just keep putting in every modpack. It seems to work always. It's actually just an added thing to Jimbo's. And I believe it's like a really old version of Jimbo's. So you want to make sure that you're V-shaped and A-shaped 2 with load indicator and circle 1. Alright, and diagonal, I guess, but this is off. I always turn that off. And the snipe mode is the exact same as arcade mode, so you might want to take some screenshots here. But there you go. Also, don't forget that you have to basically put your minimap to never. Otherwise it's going to overlap with the XCM minimap settings. And basically everything you want out of this is already in XCM, so you don't really need it. And enable the server reticle, and I'll show you why in just a second. So make sure you've done all that, otherwise your game might look slightly different than mine still after using my modpack. So there you go. Anyway, back to the game here. You can see that XCM is working. If you go to the vehicles, for example, you get your stats there and how well you're doing in them and stuff like that. So you can check if XCM is working or not. You can also tell in the bottom right in the notification center. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just gonna go quickly hop into a game. Hopefully the queue time is not too long, but hey, we're not playing War Thunder, so we should be alright. I said, and then we have to wait anyways. Alright, so as you're loading in, you can see all the XCM stats. The win percentage on their entire account is not per tank. Their WN8 and how many battles they've played. Basically all the colors most people already know. Red is the worst, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, then purple. This doesn't differentiate between Unicum and Super Unicum, by the way. So, as you can see in the minimap as well, you can see the view range is the biggest circle is not the view range, that is the server render range basically. So things outside of that render range can be shot at, but they won't be rendered for you, so you can't actually see them. The other line, the blue line, is the view range. Currently with this vehicle I have max view range. If you have less than that, it still shows basically the max view range, which is I think 440 meters or so. So yeah. And the reticle, as you can see, is the two blue circles. So if you follow what I did, then you should have this. And the darker blue, which is basically the 5 points, is the server reticle. That's where the server things you're gonna shoot. And this is actually the most important mod of all. If I could only choose one mod to have real tanks, this one would be it. Basically allows you to aim already, and then wait for the server reticle to catch up. It's especially handy if you have a lot of latency. I don't really have a lot. I always have between 20 to maximum 40. Usually hovering around 30. So it's especially handy if you're going to peek around corners. You can see it's a bit slower than the actual aiming circle. This is why sometimes you miss shots that you like on the move shoot or whatever like that, because the server actually thinks you're not there yet. So it's super handy as an overlay, and it's better than just having a server reticle, because that will make it will feel really choppy to shoot a tank server, because it's basically, it kind of lags behind. Like based on your latency, it can be pretty awful to play with just the server reticle on and not the overlay. If it doesn't work for you right away, just turn it on and off again in the settings, and that should do it. And you should at least be good for the next game, and I think it already works in the current game, basically. So as you start doing damage, in the top left you can see I did 254 damage to Centurion. There will be at max 4 lines here with how much damage you've done, and the total will just appear as well. Not really that useful, but you can see how much you've done, and you can kind of keep up with how well you're doing in the game, and kind of maybe get more out of the game that way, trying to push yourself to, you know, do a little bit better, get a little bit more extra damage in. But it really doesn't mean too much. And I also, by the way, use the setting for the third one here that I only see the tank names, not everybody's names, because it clutters the screen a bit too much, basically. Anyway, this game is pretty much a travesty. But we're gonna try our best. But I'm gonna finish the video here. Thanks a lot for watching, boys. Don't forget, I'm streaming tomorrow because it's Friday. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and hope you guys enjoyed the mod pack and the new patch as well. Catch you guys later.